The weakest cadet Kara stood at the edge of the training grounds, her boots sinking slightly into the soft red soil. Around her, dozens of alien cadets were stretching, flexing claws, adjusting armored suits. They were taller, stronger, louder, and every single one of them looked at Kara the same way, like she didn't belong. "She's the human?" whispered a tall insectoid with shimmering wings. "She'll drop out in a week," laughed a gray-skinned lizard with glowing yellow eyes. Kara didn't respond. She just adjusted the strap on her backpack and waited for the drill commander to speak. The Galactic Alliance Academy was the most advanced military training program in the known galaxy. Only the best were chosen. Each cadet had survived their own planet's harshest tests. Most had come from high-gravity worlds, lava moons, or deep space battle colonies. But Kara? Kara was from Earth Dot, and no one respected Earth. When the bell rang, the cadets were told to move to the weapon yard. There, rows of training gear weighted heavy plasma blasters, two-handed energy blades, and armor plating so dense it made the air ripple around it. "Today's challenge is simple," the commander barked. "Lift your gear. Prepare for basic hand-to-hand drills." Kara walked toward the rack like the others. She reached for a training weapon, a gravity hammer nearly as tall as she was. Behind her, someone laughed. "Try not to break your bones." "Human." Kara didn't reply. She gripped the handle. For a second, her arm shook Dot, then she lifted the hammer Dot not all the way. Just a few inches, but enough that it cleared the rack Dot enough to make the laughter stop. She quickly set it back down and chose a smaller weapon instead, a curved plasma knife designed for close combat. The other cadets stared at her, confused. Some frowned. A few looked nervous. She said nothing. Later that night, in the sleeping quarters, Kara was quiet as always. She didn't argue, didn't brag, just studied the training manual while the others talked. "You're wasting time," one cadet said. "Humans don't last here." Another chuckled. "You know why no one fears humans? Because you're soft. Your world is soft." Kara finally looked up. "My world isn't soft," she said calmly. "It's a death world." The room went silent. A heavy-set alien with stone-like skin raised a brow. "A what?" "Earth," Kara said, closing her book, "is a place where animals kill with venom, where air turns toxic, where oceans drown cities, and the ground breaks open during quakes. We survive it. Every day." The aliens laughed again, but this time it sounded forced. "No one believes those old Deathworld stories anymore," one said. "They're just myths." "Maybe," Kara replied softly. "Or maybe no one came back to tell the truth." The next morning, Instructor Velax summoned Kara to a side chamber. Velax was older than any cadet could guess. His skin was covered in battle scars, and his eyes had seen 100 wars. "You don't talk much," he said. "No, sir." "You study hard." "Yes, sir." He nodded. "But the others think you're weak." "I know," Kara said. Velax leaned closer. "Are you?" Kara looked him in the eye. "I'm from Earth, sir." That was all she said. Velax didn't respond right away. But when she turned to leave, he reached for his private datapad. With a security code, he opened a restricted archive Terra, Class X hazard planet. As he scrolled, his face grew pale. Predator list, 3,000 plus entries. Natural disasters, weekly. Survival rate during early development, 62%. His finger hovered over one image, an old Earth battle photo. The ground scorched, skies dark, children still smiling in the smoke. He whispered under his breath, "Deathworld?" That afternoon, during sparring drills, Kara faced Zeltar, the same cadet who mocked her. He was twice her size, triple her strength, a reptilian warrior from a molten world. "No fear?" he asked, circling her. "None," Kara replied. Zeltar. Struck first. A wide sweep aimed at her side. She ducked. Slid under his arm. Moved faster than he expected. She didn't try to win. She just stayed. Standing, dodging. Breathing. Watching when the timer ended. She was still on her feet. The room didn't cheer. It didn't need to. They all saw it. She wasn't weak. She was. Patient and patience. Was dangerous later that night. The laughter stopped No one spoke as she passed by and in the command room. Instructor Valax made a quiet note on her file. Potential. Unknown. Origin. Earth. Recommendation. Monitor closely. Do not underestimate. Kara lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. They thought she was the weakest. They were wrong. They just hadn't seen what Earth really meant yet. Deathworld Origins The next day started with a theory class. Planetary threat ratings and environmental. Tiers. Cadets sat in a wide circular room. Floating holoscreens displayed charts of worlds from across the galaxy. Planets were sorted into 5 classes: mild, hostile, severe, extreme, and the rarest, Deathworlds. Kara took a seat in the back row, silent as always. Instructor Zern, a 6-eyed amphibian, tapped his staff for silence. Today, we study planetary survival indexes. Classify your homeworlds by hazard levels. The room buzzed with pride. My planet has acidic rain every 3 days, said a cadet from Sector 9. Mine has predators with heat vision and cloaking. Skin, bragged another. Zeltar, sitting near the front, smirked and turned around to look at Kara. Earth must be mild. Too green, too pretty. Kara didn't reply. Zern scanned the room. Cadet Kara, Earth classification? She stood slowly. Class X Deathworld. The room burst into laughter. Zern raised a webbed hand. Quiet. You expect us to believe. Earth is a Deathworld? Zeltar scoffed. It has beaches. Kara nodded. And earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes, poisonous animals. Heat waves, floods, fires. She paused, voice calm. Sometimes all in 1 week. Zern blinked slowly. Continue. Our predators don't hunt for territory. They hunt for sport. Some humans do too. The air can kill. So can the water. Even light can burn. A few cadets stopped smiling. And we're not the strongest species there, she added. We just survived the longest. Instructor Zern cleared his throat. There is truth to what she says, he admitted. Historical records do list. Terra Earth's Class X zone. Iltar narrowed his eyes. Then why are humans weak? Kara looked at him. We're not weak. We just got tired of proving it. Later that evening, Zeltar and 2 other cadets sat in the common room, reviewing simulation data. Pull up Earth's threat file, he said. I thought it was restricted, the other cadet replied. XEL-Tar grinned. I bypassed the lock. They opened the file. The room went silent. A low-quality video played. Humans fighting with primitive weapons. Flames in the background. Then another soldier's charging through snow, coughing blood, but still moving forward. Then a forest green and calm until something large and fast moved through the trees, eyes glowing. What is that? One cadet whispered. The file showed a warning. Unstable. Viewing restricted by Order 7.9 Council lock. Before they could exit, the screen froze. Then text appeared. If you are not human, stop watching. If you are human, survive. In the main office, Instructor Valax reviewed Kara's profile again. She had completed every drill. She had outscored 70% of her class in strategy. But she had said very little. No complaints. No bragging. Just silent strength. He tapped a button. Opening a secret file. Terra incidents classified. Pages of unexplained survival cases. Radiation zones turned into cities. Disease is overcome without cures. He leaned back. They don't fear pain, he whispered, because pain built them. Back. In the training quarters, Kara stared at the stars outside the window. She knew they didn't respect her. Not yet. They still thought humans were weak. That Earth was just a green ball spinning in space. But they didn't understand the truth. Earth didn't forgive mistakes. Earth didn't protect the soft. Earth made survivors, and she was one of them. The test they designed to break. The Academy called it Exercise 9BA, survival simulation, used only once per year. Most cadets failed it. Some refused to enter. This time, the staff made one quiet change. They chose Kara for a solo run. No team. No backup. No warning. The night before, her name appeared on the board. One word glowed next to it. Alone. They want to break her, someone whispered in the mess hall. Zeltar watched from a distance. She won't last an hour, but Instructor Vilax said nothing. He just watched Kara's face as she read the assignment. She didn't flinch. She simply stood and nodded. The next morning, Kara stepped onto the loading platform. Metal walls closed around her. A robotic voice spoke. You are entering Sector X Level 9 jungle. Weapons, none. Exit, unknown. Time limit, survive. The floor dropped. She landed in thick, wet dirt. It was dark, too dark. Trees towered above her, twisted and alien. The air was heavy with fog. She could hear things moving nearby. Then came the first sound, click, snap, whir. Kara turned slowly. Synthetic creatures were watching her. Their eyes flashed red. Predator drones. Class 4. She didn't run. She crouched, picked up a broken stick, and waited. At the command center. The officers watched in silence. She hasn't moved in 3 minutes. One of them said, She's watching, Vilax answered. Not hiding, calculating. The lead drone lunged. Kara ducked, rolled into the brush, disappeared from view. Alarms beeped. Camera 4 went black. Then Camera 6. Then Camera 2. She's knocking out the drones, someone whispered. No, Vilax said softly. She's studying them. Back in the jungle, Kara crawled beneath twisted roots. Her breathing was calm. Her hand held a jagged rock now, tied with a vine she made herself. The ground shook. A larger drone arrived, thick armor, rotating blades. A class 5 hunter. It scanned the jungle with heat sensors. Red lights flashed. Kara closed her eyes and pressed her body into the mud. She didn't move. The drone passed over her, then paused. It turned. Just as it prepared to fire, Kara leapt from the ground mud, covering her heat signature, and jammed the rock into its vent. It sparked, twisted, and fell sideways dead. The observers were silent. She defeated a hunter drone. With mud and a rock? One officer said. Vilax smiled slightly. That's Earth thinking. 4 hours later, Kara reached a dry clearing. Her face was scratched, uniform torn, but her eyes were sharp. A soft noise came from the trees. It wasn't a drone. It was something else. She crouched low, her breath steady. The trees moved unnaturally. Not wind. A shadow slithered across the ground. From the darkness came a hiss. Then a voice low and wrong. Another one from Earth. Kara didn't look afraid. She whispered back. We've been here before. The sound stopped. The shadow froze. Then it backed away and disappeared. In the control room, the main screen flickered. Signal lost. Vilax stood slowly. Get her out. But sir, she's still in range, said the tech. She passed the test hours ago, Vilax replied. She's sending a message. When the transport arrived, Kara stepped out alone, covered in bruises, blood on her boots. But standing tall, no cadet clapped. No one spoke. They just stared. X Eeltar looked down, silent. And for the first time since she arrived, Kara looked straight at him and said, "Your world trains you to fight. Mine trains us to survive." That night, her file was locked under restricted clearance, and a new note was added. Do not assign solo simulations. Response: patterns unpredictable. Possible anomaly status. Proceed with caution. She went to sleep without a word, but deep in the Academy logs, someone had already tagged her home planet with a new title. Earth, confirmed Deathworld. Avoid direct engagement. The file that wasn't meant to be opened. The Academy was quiet. That night, most cadets were asleep. But not Relix. Relix was a curious alien, small and fast, with too many fingers, and a habit of digging where he shouldn't. And tonight, he wanted to know what Earth really was. He had seen Kara survive the jungle. He had seen drones fall. And he had seen how the instructors now avoided her file, like a curse. So, while others slept, Relix crept into the back hallway, where the old servers buzzed like insects. His claws danced over the console. He entered his override codes. 1. Then 2. A red warning flashed. Earth protocol locked. Clearance required level Omega. Relix smiled. He wasn't supposed to see it, which meant it had secrets. He bypassed the lock anyway. The screen went black. Then a white dot appeared. Ben words. Accessing. Terra, Deathworld 001. The file opened. Images appeared one by one. Not military footage. Not war got worse. First, a jungle. But not like the simulation. This one was real. The trees moved without wind. One creature leapt from the canopy, tore into its prey, then vanished into the dark. Next, a city underwater. People still living there. Swimming between buildings, eyes glowing faintly. Then, a volcano mid-eruption, with humans walking along. The edge, covered in ash, laughing. Relix's jaw dropped. Impossible. The next video showed children running across snow. A blizzard raged. Temperatures dropped below survival limits. Still, they kept moving. Still, they smiled. He clicked. A file marked Earth, Human War Patterns. Then he froze. One clip showed a battlefield where humans wounded. Starving kept fighting, long after losing limbs. In another, a man dragged 10 others to safety, despite shrapnel in his side. Blood everywhere. But his face calm. Next, a city, burning from above. People forming rescue chains with bare hands. The footage cut out. A message appeared. This file is not for you. If you are not human, do not continue. Close this file, now. Relix stepped back. Sweat beaded on his neck scales. But he didn't stop. He clicked one more file. It was labeled Project Iron Heart. He clicked. It didn't play a video. It showed a heartbeat. Slow. Steady. Until gunshots rang out. Then it sped up. Radiation surged. Toxins flooded the screen. The heartbeat kept going. Then an image appeared of a man walking through nuclear dust. Alone. At the bottom. Subject. Status. Alive. Human adaptation. Active. Conclusion. Class 10 confirmed. Terminate viewing. The room lights flickered. The console shut off by itself. Relix's claws froze in mid-air. From behind. A quiet voice spoke. Did you learn what you wanted to know? Relix turned. Kara stood in the doorway. Her eyes didn't blink. He swallowed. Hard. I just wanted to understand. She didn't move. You want to understand humans? She said softly. Don't study our files. She stepped closer. Study our scars. The next day, Instructor Valax discovered the breach. Computer was fried. The logs deleted, but one short note was found scratched into the metal. CONSOE casing. Earth isn't dangerous because of its monsters. Earth is dangerous because it made humans. Velak sighed and closed the report. Back in the courtyard, Kara sat alone again. But this time, no one dared sit near her Dot, and no one laughed anymore. The Academy had seen what she could do. Now, they were learning why Dot, and soon, they'd learn what Earth had hidden all along. The incident in the arena lights. Flickered Dot. It was supposed to be just another training day. Just a routine sparring match between cadets. The crowd of trainees sat relaxed, expecting another lesson in form and control. But the instructors had different plans, and Kara's name was the only one listed on the screen. Her opponent? Classified. Kara stood alone in the center ring. The steel floor was scuffed from past fights. Above her, holographic shields flickered to life. She heard whispers from the seats. Is this a mistake? No opponent listed? She's going in alone? Then the gate across from her opened. The ground shook. A beast stepped out, not a cadet, not even close. It was over 3 meters tall, wrapped in armor. Its skin stitched with metal. The crowd went silent. It was a war mutant, a living weapon, used only in live field testing. Illegal in most systems. Banned for cadet use. This was no sparring match. This was a setup. Kara didn't flinch. She watched the creature step forward, dragging a heavy chain behind it. From the control booth, Instructor Velak stood. His voice echoed through the arena. Initiate test protocol. Combat begins in 3, 2, 1. The creature charged. Fast. Too fast. Kara rolled sideways as it smashed into the floor, cracking the tiles. She moved light on her feet, staying just out of reach, but it was learning. Each strike came closer, sharper. The instructors watched with tight faces. Some were recording. She won't last long, one muttered. Then she's not human. Valax whispered. Kara reached for her knife. It was basic training steel, nothing that could pierce the thing's armored skin. She didn't try. Instead, she dodged again and ran straight for the arena wall. The crowd gasped. She leapt, ran up the wall, then launched off, flipping over the beast. As it turned, confused, she jammed her knife into its eye. Not to kill, but to blind. It roared, swinging. Wildly. She ducked under the chain, grabbed it, and pulled. Hard. The beast stumbled. She wrapped the chain around its arm, then its leg, then around its throat. The creature slammed her into the floor. She didn't scream. She tightened. Chained. The fight lasted 6 minutes. 6 minutes of silence. 6 minutes of claws, blood, and dust. When it ended, the creature was choking on its knees, gasping, then falling flat, and Kara stood bleeding, limping but alive. The arena crowd didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They just stared. Xeltar stood at the edge of the ring, frozen. She killed it? He whispered. No, Velak said. She spared it. Everyone turned. He looked down at the blood-stained floor. That was the real test. Kara didn't look proud. She walked out of the ring quietly, but her message was clear. She wasn't here to impress. She was here to survive. And if pushed too far, she would end anything in her path. That night, the Academy sent a private transmission. To command, Subject Kara. Combat threat exceeds training tier. Request reclassification. Possible exposure to unauthorized protocols. Origin, EARTH. And somewhere deep in the system, a red file began blinking. Label, Cadet Kara. Level, 7 threat. Monitor immediately. The silence in the hall. No one spoke to Kara after the arena match. Not during breakfast. Not in the dorm halls. Not even during drills. It wasn't fear anymore. It was something deeper. Something colder. The instructors avoided her eyes. Cadets whispered, only when her back was turned. Even Zeltar, once loud and mocking, now stepped out of her way without a word. At first, Kara didn't mind. She had lived in silence before, but this silence was different. It wasn't the kind that made space for peace. It was the kind that meant someone was planning something, and they were. 3 floors below the training center, inside a locked briefing room, Instructor Valax met with 2 masked officials. Cadet Kara from Earth has broken simulation records. One said she's resisted mental scans, survived biological extremes. With no support, the other added. Valax nodded. And she's hiding something. She's too calm, said the first. No fear response. No emotional crash. After combat. She's not a soldier, the second replied. She's a weapon. They handed Valax a sealed data cube. Red tag across the top. Project, Silent Birth, Level 10. Valax read the first few lines and went pale. Then he locked the file and said nothing. That night, Kara walked the halls alone. They were darker than usual. Quieter, too quiet. She paused. At the corner where light flickered, the shadows moved slightly. Not wind. She knew. They were following her now. Not cadets. Observers. She walked past the classrooms, past the old war memorial, past the armory door, until she stopped in front of the sealed archive room. And waited. A minute passed. Then the door clicked open. Inside, the walls were lined with forgotten files. Datapads no longer accessed. War logs sealed by time. Kara moved to the far shelf and pulled one down. It was titled, Humanity, the Black Archive. The screen glowed faintly. Old footage loaded. Ancient Earth battles, alliances broken, victories gained not by power, but by something else. Unpredictability. Rage, fire, loss, love, emotions used as weapons. One line repeated again and again in the report. Humanity wins not because it is strong. Humanity wins because it refuses to lose. Behind her, the door closed. Valax stood at the entrance, watching. I thought I might find you here, he said. Kara turned. You read the files. He nodded. Enough to be worried. You should be, she said. Valax stepped forward. What is your purpose here? To remind you, Kara answered, what Earth really is. Back in the command chamber, the masked officials loaded the data cube into the main server. And the academy. Alarms turned red. New orders came down immediately. Begin containment protocol on subject Kara. Do not engage alone. Do not initiate contact unless cleared. Surveillance. Full. The system had changed. She wasn't a cadet anymore. She was now a classified anomaly. And Earth? Earth wasn't forgotten anymore. It was being watched. Closely. That night, Kara lay awake. In her bunk. Around her, the room was silent. But outside, in the blackness of space, something stirred. A forgotten file. A locked satellite. A signal that hadn't been heard in years. It blinked once. Then again. Then sent a message. Terra receives. Stand by. The day Earth answered at dawn. The Academy alarms blared. Not the usual drills. Red alert. Level 0 cadets rushed into the halls. Instructors shouted orders. The sky above the campus turned dark, unnaturally dark. Ships were approaching. Unknown signature. No response. Everyone ran toward the viewing deck, except Piera. She stood in the center courtyard, staring at the sky. XELR found her first. You knew, he said. She didn't turn. I warned you. In the control room, Valax stared at the screen. The ship wasn't alien. It wasn't from the Council. It was from Earth. Large. Silent. Covered in black plating. No flags, no signals. Just one name glowing red on its side. TSV Vindicator Deathworld class response. A voice came through the comms. Calm, clear. Human, we're here for the Cadet. You tried to break her. You failed. Now stand. Down, or we will respond. Valax stepped back. One of the masked observers whispered, "They're not bluffing." On the ground, instructors surrounded Kara. Weapons raised, she didn't move, but her voice cut through the silence. You wanted to know what makes Earth dangerous. It's not the beasts, not the storms, not the death. It's us. One instructor fired. Too late. The blast stopped mid-air, intercepted by a shimmer of blue light dot above. The Earth ship activated its shields. A beam of light struck the ground beside Kara, and from it descended 4 soldiers. Not tall, not bulky. Their armor was black, their faces hidden, and their movement quiet. Each bore the same emblem, a cracked planet. With fire inside, they stood beside Kara without a word. Valax stepped forward, shaken. What is she?" The lead soldier looked at him. "She's proof that Earth remembers, that you should have never forgotten." The Academy's weapons powered down dot one by one. Cadets lowered their eyes. Even the most proud Zel Tar looked away. Not from fear, but from understanding dot as Kara stepped into the beam of light. Ready to leave the Academy behind, she paused. One last time dot to the watching crowd, she said, "You wanted to test Earth. You called us weak. You laughed." She smiled, but there was no joy. "Now, you'll think twice before laughing again." The beam lifted her dot, the ship took her in, and as it disappeared into the sky, the Academy remained silent, dot not from fear, but from respect. 1 week later, galactic broadcast channels lit up. A message was sent to every sector, every academy, every official record. Cadet Kara of Earth status confirmed. All engagements with Terra to be made with caution and respect. Earth status updated. Do not provoke. And beneath the message, one new title was added to Earth's profile. The Deathworld that raised her